Sukhmi Chaudhary, Vishnu Chepang and Lagandev Sarai live hundreds of miles away from each other in different corners of Nepal. But they all share a common story of hope. They are among the poorest of poor Nepalis who have managed to change their lives in a matter of years. Freed only a decade ago from bonded labor, popularly known as Kamaiya in Nepal, Sukhmi Chaudhary had no livelihood options till 5 years ago.
Before, we had to go and serve the local landlords, leaving our own kitchen and kids unattended. Some kids survived, while others did not.
Life changed for good when she joined a PAF community organization. She took a loan of 15,000 rupees initially to buy a pair of oxen, which helped her plough others' lands. She also bought 2 piglets at the same time. Both her ventures started paying off, and she paid her loan back to the community. Now she has 16 pigs in her pig pen. In the span of only 3 years, she has managed to buy a land in nearby Mahendranagar Bazaar, and she is planning to construct a house in a near future.
Nowadays, we don't have to face bad words from the landlords, and we are free from unnecessary tension. We are fully dependent on our own income, not on others.
Vishnu is a member of the most backward indigenous nationalities of Nepal called Chepang. Mostly hunters and gatherers, their subsistence economy is based on forest resources.
We have migrated to this place in search of livelihoods and a better future.
Before, we were not able to buy even salt and oil needed to cook food. I remember those days when we used to eat rice only with water. For many days, we had to sustain only on wild yams.
Vishnu migrated to Dhading from Chitwan 8 years ago in search of a better livelihood. He ended up working as a low-paid daily wage earner, a manual laborer. 4 years ago, Vishnu borrowed 15,000 rupees from a PAF community organization to begin vegetable farming in leased land. Ever since, his life has taken a different turn.
We learned the art of vegetable farming once we are here. Nowadays, we are able to send our kids to school and eat a good meal.
Living on the lowland eastern Tarai district of Siraha, Lagandev Sarai is a member of Mushahar community. The community is known for catching and eating rats. Poverty and alcoholism is rampant in the Mushahar community.
Before, my own parents and neighbors used to say that I won't be able to do anything, and I felt insulted. My parents forced me to stay separately, and we were asked to leave our parental home with nowhere to go.
A physically disabled Lagan has a daughter and a wife. In 2006, he was chosen to become the secretary of a PAF community organization formed in his community. Though his wife had received a stool-making training a few years ago, they were unable to start their own enterprise due to lack of money. The couple took a loan of 20,000 rupees from their community organizations.
Nowadays, we have a good business and income. We often go in the neighboring villages to train others on how to make stool.
Whenever I go in the field to train others, they call me Madam. They asked me to teach and show the art of making stool. I feel very good.
Sukhmi, Vishnu and Lagandev are just a few in thousands whose lives have changed because of PAF, which has provided them with the much needed resources and motivated them to change their lives for the better. Amidst prevailing difficult circumstances in the country, PAF was established in 2004 with the goal of reducing poverty and improving livelihoods. PAF investments are concentrated in the poorest and the most food-insecure districts of Nepal. PAF began with programs in 6 districts and now covers 40 of Nepal's 75 districts. The program is seeking to bring the poor families out of the cycle of intergenerational poverty. The innovative use of direct financing to communities for a variety of investments has helped build community-level institutions and raise income levels. As of June 2012, PAF has helped more than 500,000 poor households to be organized in about 20,000 community organizations. More than 70% beneficiaries are poor women, 29% are so-called low-caste Dalits, and another 29% are members of the indigenous communities, the Janajatis. More than 60% of the total beneficiaries are hardcore poor who are unable to feed themselves even for 3 months. Findings of an independent impact evaluation suggest that PAF is well on track to meet its objectives. A recent social reassessment carried out in 11 districts covering 5,030 households suggests that households' real income level for Dalit and Janajatis has increased by 76 and 80% against the average increase of 63% in all categories. The same study also shows that the percentage of hardcore poor households has fallen significantly.
The life of the people at the local level has really been impacted. When the people have the money in their hands, the first thing they invest is on capital consumptions, and the second one is on, they think of increasing their food security, and the third is on the child education.
More than 60% of PAF investments have focused on livestock raising, retail business, water supply and sanitation, and vegetable farming. Independent evaluations shows that the relative impact of PAF on improving welfare is significantly higher compared to other ongoing poverty alleviation or government assistance programs for the same target group.
We're very pleased that the impact evaluation results are actually very significant, very positive, including showing that those communities that the PAF fundamentally targets are actually benefiting in relative terms much more than other communities who are also generally targeted.
In a difficult post-conflict environment, PAF is helping communities become self-reliant by letting them identify and manage their own needs and resources. There is no elected representatives in local bodies for the last 10 years, making it further difficult to make the voice of the poor people heard in the decision-making process. At a time when unrest and uncertainties are taking the Himalayan nation in their grips, the program is seeking to maintain peace at the community level so as to secure a long-term peace.
If the people do not get adequate support from the state machinery, the whatever peace dividend we have achieved so far, it may go derail. And in this sense, when this program is up and running, what we have noticed is people are engaged, people have found something to do, and people see that it is for them and further focus in their own day-to-day activities rather than think of something which is not acceptable in the post-conflict situation.
PAF have really managed to survive and continue to show results even in a difficult, politically unstable and difficult environment such as Nepal has been facing for the past many years.
7 years on the ground, PAF has been constantly adopting an action learning process while working with communities at the grassroots. Expediting the institutional growth of the community organizations and promoting partnerships with other development actors has been a top priority. PAF is also making efforts to establish market linkages and increasing tie-ups with the private sector. A grant agreement for the additional financing of $75 million for PAF was signed between the World Bank and the government of Nepal in July 2011 in a bid to deepen and expand the PAF program across Nepal with a special focus on improving food security.
It started from 40 million, and to date we have financed the interventions up to $200 million, which is almost between 15 to 20% of our ongoing programs in Nepal. So that to you should be an indication of how much we value the results that PAF has shown.
Other development partners such as International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD, Helvetas, GIZ, World Food Programme are now working with PAF to strengthen synergies between programs. The Ministry of Local Development and PAF are coordinating on monitoring and planning to meet community demands. PAF is expanding its program to additional 15 districts, bringing the total districts coverage to 55.
PAF is the government's major instrument to carry out the targeted program to reach out the poor. It has been addressing the need of poor and destitute people during as well as in post-conflict situation. It has also been delivering the results at the grassroots level in terms of empowering the poor and securing their livelihoods. The government therefore is working to support and expand the PAF program in all 75 districts of Nepal, and also wants to ensure its sustainability and mainstreaming the program and government development initiatives.
The bank is very pleased to be associated with the government of Nepal's program through the Poverty Alleviation Fund, and we hope to continue supporting these types of programs that reach the poorest of the poor.
PAF is not only working with communities, it is taking a lead on a campaign against poverty. Establishment of Oversight Agency for Poverty Alleviation, distribution of identity card for the poor, and addressing the urban poverty are some of the recent undertakings that PAF is taking a lead on.
We are thinking of creating an oversight agency on poverty alleviation, and also the other new activities we can think of is on widening and deepening the scope of work of the poverty alleviation. My next approach in near future would be on bringing about a change in the policy on how to create wealth out of the activities of the Poverty Alleviation Fund.